Welcome back to the Blues Society of Northwest Florida's weekly podcast where I, your host, Paul Stadden, get to interview the guys coming up playing on the Monday Night Blues Jams. And this week, I'm really happy to be talking for the first time to Kathy and Tom Lyon. Now, you heard the interview a few weeks ago with Greg, their son. He is going to be playing with them coming up this Monday. But I wanted to make sure to capture these two because I just, dang it, hadn't gotten the opportunity yet. So welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and I know that Two's Company and Three's a Crowd, but, well, speaking of Two's Company, that's the name of the group that you guys used to have, right?
That is right.
Yeah.
When we got married a little over 30 years ago, we had started to play on weekends, and that was our duo name. And I guess at that time you'd call what we did kind of like, soft rock or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Right.
We got married and we quit our jobs and sold everything we owned and went on the road for about 5 years. We toured. We did 7 overseas tours for the USO, so we got all over the world as well as quite a bit around the States as well. So
now, when did you rope Greg into all of this?
Well, he wasn't born yet then. In fact, we had to stop touring because we had our daughter, and then followed a couple of years later by Greg, and he just kind of grew up around it, and Tom taught him a few things on guitar, and when he was probably 11 or 12 or something, he took lessons and discovered what a good friend the music can be.
Well, too cool. Tom, let's start with you. Let's start with how you got into music. Who were your main influences, and why you chose the organ?
The organ is
it's kind of your number one instrument.
Yeah.
But he plays guitar too.
Right.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That was the instrument that they needed in the band you were
Right.
on, I think. And you happen to have a Farfisa organ with leopard skin covering on it, as I recall you said.
Necessity is the mother of invention, I understand.
That would have been when he was like a young teenager.
Yeah, well, the rock groups like them and
the Zombies were big influences on you.
Yeah.
Beatles, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Rolling Stones, all of it.
all of them.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
We were the kind of family that when we were driving around with our kids in the car, we'd all be singing along to Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, nice. Well, how'd the jazz thing come into it then? I mean, because I know that we musicians, we have a love of everything, but then there's always that one style that you kind of gravitate towards, that you grip onto, and it's like, that's what I'm going to make my hands do. So where did jazz and blues come into all this?
Well, for me, I grew up in a pretty musical family, and my dad played piano, and he used to play what was called boogie woogie.
Right.
And I just loved it. And so it was kind of this influence from way back, Count Basie, Pine Dot Smith.
Yeah.
Those players. And it was kind of always in the background, even through the years that I was more into classic rock and stuff.
Right.
And then when we were playing, we kind of picked songs based on what we liked. So the gamut went from ZZ Top to Peggy Lee, and
nice.
Everything in between. And then when we kind of took a break from performing when the kids were babies,
I got a job.
You got a job.
There's
I
that.
built graphic design work back up, and then I started singing in a really great band up in Washington D.C. that was more of a wedding band, And I learned a whole new thing, and they kind of, through that, I got to know people in the jazz community and got involved in the jazz festival that went on up there every year, and took some workshops and developed my improvisation skills and my ability to sing different types of stuff and know what was going on with the band. It was a great experience. So I kind of pursued jazz more over the years then. But
I've got her to pick up rock and roll.
Well, I always have loved singing blues, so there's no question about that. That has been a constant.
So Washington is where you did the CD, Kathy Lyon Live at the Tomcat nightclub.
Yeah.
Correct.
More jazz, or is that more jazz or that blues, or what's on there?
Well, it's jazz, basically. There's a couple of tunes that definitely are blues. So there's
She's Not There.
Well, no, that's on the second CD, because I did another CD live at the East Coast Jazz Festival, and there again, a couple blues things are on
Right.
that. because to me, there's not really a very sharp line between blues and jazz. It's all kind of.
I agree with you. It all kind of mushes together these days, but I'm going to save that for my last question. So what brought you here to Florida?
Well,
everybody's got a story.
Moving to Florida.
Fair enough.
We'd been living and working in the Washington D.C. area, and we had our own business. And kind of the critical event that triggered things was Tom had a real major stroke about 11 years ago.
Oh, goodness.
And for a while couldn't play at all. And seeing him get the ability to play coming back was just amazing to see. And his hard work at relearning it really was inspirational. And so that's kind of, we were up there, we were working hard, and we thought, why are we up here in this rat race? Let's escape and go to Florida. And we had come down here and fell in love with the Gulf Coast, and we picked Navarre kind of because it was halfway between Destin and Pensacola. We didn't know where we'd be doing more music, so
right.
we'd be bi-coast.
Fair enough.
Turns out Pensacola's got so much going on. It's really a great town for entertainment and music.
And Blues Society.
Yeah.
Gone a long way.
We love that Monday night.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. You guys ever think about recording another CD?
Oh, yeah, we'd love to. We've got recording gear at the house, kind of one of those things of it's on our list, but somehow it hasn't gotten to the top of the list yet. It takes money, too, and we're Tom's retired, and I'm kind of semi-retired, so, making do with not a lot of extras, so, the money to put together a CD is always a factor.
Are you interested in doing more original stuff, or do you do more covers?
Original.
Well, we do have some originals, and we should write more and put together a CD worth of stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
But the classic blues stuff is so everybody loves it, and it's wonderful to feel that vibe when everybody gets into it.
Right. It does help when the whole room knows what the next word is going to be in the lyric sheet.
Kind of, yeah. Throw them a curve now and then and surprise them with something they haven't heard before, and that's always fun, too.
Well, I hit you with my last question here, something I ask of everybody every single week. I mean, do you think that there is this good crossover of the blues, and that is a good thing, blues and other genres? I know some people are real sticklers, like, no, it's got to be 1930s Delta, or it's got to be 60s Chicago blues, but is it a good thing for the blues to have all this crossover into other genres and let it be a big melting pot? Oh,
I totally believe that, because, I mean, I sing everything, like I said, from Bossa Nova to Jefferson Airplane, and
right.
There's a lot of jazz and blues influences in all of it, and so I kind of don't like to see hard edges to music categories, because I think and most good musicians can appreciate most kinds of music too, I think.
Yeah, I was always told to listen to everything and play everything, that if you're stuck just listening to one band or one genre, then your playing is going to be limited.
Yeah.
That's right. I agree with that. And it's been interesting to see our son with his classical training in college bring some of those sensibilities into when he's playing blues lead. It's just like, oh, that is just too cool.
Who does he take from? Where does he go?
Pardon me?
Who does he take from? Where does he go?
Well, he studied at the University of West Florida with Dr. Stallings. So he got his degree in guitar performance.
Oh, with Joe Stallings?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an alumnus there myself with the exact same degree. So I'm always interested to hear when other people, because I took from the previous Jimmy Chandler who left and then was taken over by Joe Stallings. I heard nothing but great things about Joe Stallings. And if your son's playing as any evidence, I'd say he's a great teacher. So,
Well, we're real happy with it. And when we moved down here, and moved away from the D.C. area, it was kind of like, well, I hope what Greg needs is here. He was in high school, and to bring him down here, but he just absolutely flourished down here. It's been wonderful.
Oh yeah, his playing is excellent, and I'm really looking forward to all three of you. I'm looking forward to the whole family band being on stage.
That's a new thing. We've kind of tiptoed around the family band thing because we all have different solo efforts,
right?
And then Greg in those later teenage and young 20 ages, was a little, I'm not sure that's what I want to do. I think it's kind of hard to have to flirt with the chicks when you got dad and mom hanging out, you know. But he's kind of I think he's kind of come full circle to appreciate what we do. And I mean, he always has. I shouldn't
right.
Tell him, but to participate and to play together is really neat. And Tom's actually bringing his Hammond out and playing with Greg's band quite a lot, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you play on Monday night. It's going to be a great show. Kathy and Tom Lyon, with their son Greg Lyon, going to be playing at the Blues Jams Monday night, Seville Quarter, Lili Marlene's at 8 o'clock. Don't miss it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul. We'll see you tomorrow.